Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Glen Eagles Reserve at Woodville. We are in day number 3 of the competition, day number 4 of the organisation. My name, as always, is Dave Webb. I am joined in commentary today, hopefully for all 3, by the star of the video podcast, State of the Union, Jason Hyam. How are you, Jason?
Good to
you
be
wondered
here,
where
Dave.
I was going with that.
I was wondering what was going to come, but I'll take that. Yeah, good to be here. Beautiful day today. Hopefully this breeze stays down and we can stay warm, not like Friday.
That was awful. Friday. I don't think I've ever been as cold in the full sun as I ever have been. So Tasmania taking on VIC country. What are we? This is 5th and 6th place playoff. Tasmania wearing their bottle green and yellow tops. They will be attacking the right of your screen, and VIC country in the traditional navy blue with the white V attacking the left of your screen. Tasmania haven't won a game so far. VIC country just won the one yesterday against the Barbarians, so we are underway.
Promises to be a good game then, doesn't it, Dave? Without being rude, I suppose the minnows of the competition. But they are very excited and up for this one, I tell you what.
Well, we expect to see, 2 competitive games tomorrow. I think Queensland country will just be a step too far for South Australia. Brian will carry over the 22, and Tasmania now, can start to launch down this near side. Daniel, who is a very, very big and damaging runner, works down the 5-metre channel. O'Keefe. And again they go. Oh, held it a little bit short, and the country nearly got hands on, but there was a penalty advantage anyway.
Looked like he was expecting the wraparound there from his inside player there, and just didn't arrive. Obviously changed angle at the last second, but opportunity here. Will Tassie choose to play or go for the points? What would you take, Dave?
Look. And it's been a straight knockout tournament anyway, so points don't matter, right? I'd be working, and the whole point of these tournaments for me is to work on processes and to play rugby, not to, win, as strange as that sounds. But I would be looking to launch a set piece from here, which they have. I know I waited until they kicked it out to say it. But,
that's fair.
But yeah, no, I would be looking at set pieces now and working on process and working on, how you play the game of rugby.
Absolutely. I mean, they've got 58 minutes of rugby left for the year, so may as well play a bit rather than watch one of your mates kick the ball.
Holman off the back. Has to roll around. Victor did enough to disrupt the driving more. Out into the backs. Flat ball. Good flat ball to Brian. Brian will rumble forwards. Tassie can split. Halfback had to go and deal with it. Scrappy again. Lagrange gives it. Holman steps back inside. Can't find a way through. Again, they will look short side, and again the halfback is hit. Picked up by May. It's gone forward though. Scrappy, and it's been a theme for the weekend, really. There's scrappy breakdown.
Has been, hasn't it? Questionable about what players are doing in that space and whether they're attacking it efficiently. Referees, I know, have had a lot of talk about how they're managing it and trying to keep it as clean as possible so that we can enjoy some really good rugger. But players insistent on doing what they can to tip the scales in their favour.
Rugger. To come back to 1920s English boarding schools. So scrum to Tasmania. The scrum has been okay over the weekend for Tasmania. They got pushed around a little bit by Western Australia, by Perth, but I don't think they'll be the only ones that'll happen to. Again they go. Daniel back on the inside. Daniel will score the first points of the day. And I tell you, if you're talking about Tasmanian players and people who have caught the eye over this couple of days, he's been very, very good, Daniel.
He really has been a very strong runner. He was causing all kinds of problems for the South Australian under-23s.
The under-23s, he had a day out against them.
They had very little answer for him. Very, very good runner. Seems to find those holes and be able to just shake his way through the tackler. So it'd be good to see. It looks like he's on form today and going to have another good crack at it. So
yeah, and you know, coach of mine used to say, "Run at spaces, not faces," and big back rowers, yourself included, probably do have a tendency to want to run at people rather than at their shoulders. Went quite a little bit.
I was going to say, I don't know if I want to. Yeah, it is tempting from time to time to look at trying to dominate physically, but yeah, much easier. And as we get older,
May was just setting up for the win that was here on Friday and isn't here today. There is a little bit of a breeze, but it's nowhere near what it was on Friday.
Shouldn't have too much effect on play anyway, this little breeze today. Beautiful day out.
Cloudless sky, yeah, just awesome.
Anybody who's watching and within travelling distance, come down and watch some rugby. There's some great rugby out here today. It's going to be some really fantastic, exciting rugby, both by the senior men and by the little guys running around.
Go over the top to Marlu. Marlu will shake through a couple. First time we see Victoria with hands on ball. I think they've done an incredible job over the short time to get as organised as they have. And especially as well, we will make mention, Sportchart tries to find a way through. Out they go again. Backs with ball in hand, just left that one behind. So Tassie will have the ball. And they can counter-attack. I think they'll probably still have the advantage as well. Probably the adopted sons of the local Woodville crowd, as they wear exactly the same colours.
They do look very at home on this pitch, don't they? In the colour scheme they're wearing.
Holman. Ataleo will send the box kick forward. And this is the third day for most of these players. Lie, who is a South Australian import at the moment, plays his rugby for Port Adelaide. Now they've got a gap and they're away. Over the 10-metre line. Tassie's struggling to get him down. Finally they do. And the navy blue streams forward. Flat pass is intercepted. Massive contact. Tassie can settle down with ball in hand again.
As you were saying, there's some Port Adelaide players, but also that big run up the middle there. Ben Russell from Adelaide Uni was the ball carrier there for VIC. Oh, the breakaway.
And we are away again. Tasmania will go with lean. Flat ball. Popped off the ground to Holman. And a penalty. So Lean with the carry after the intercept. He's not a natural redhead. He had his book show last week.
Right.
So that hair colour is not a choice.
So many things to say about that, but
but just going back to Vic Country and just how impressive it is that they've got themselves together. They actually took a Port Adelaide coach. The Port Adelaide A-grade coach has come on board as their forwards coach. So to get them set up and organised as they have been.
Fantastic that they've gotten themselves involved in the game, in the local community too. As you say, getting a coach involved, getting a couple of the players from around Adelaide involved. I know Tasmania have got a couple of
Ben White,
local boys play as well. Ben White.
Ben White, I don't know whether he started or whether he's on the bench. It looks like Benny White is on the bench.
Troy Wilkins.
Was involved as well.
Also involved as well. Yeah.
So there is. I mean, there's an official relationship between the Melbourne Rebels and South Australian Rugby.
Correct.
So you know that relationship between Victoria and South Australia, which you know from a media point of view we will keep riled up. But from a professional point of view, we are working very, very hard together. Historically, there has been a strong link between Tasmania and South Australia as well, as Victoria will look to the front of the line. Now they go out again into midfield. Russell lost it that time and can be hacked ahead. Again, it's scrappy. Good tackle. And the numbers are there. Just couldn't quite get there. Victoria did enough to get back and get around. Just a little pick and drive to make it less scrappy. Still has to go digging for it. Lie copped a high one. Keeps going though. That one won't bother him. Another player who had an impressive day out on grand final day, Lie. Whoa, big shot. I'm not entirely sure the legality of it. I don't know whether we got
as you said earlier, Dave. Spaces, not faces, and that was
a face.
that was most definitely a face. Not back 10 though, referee says.
Yeah, and here we go. We see it. I don't think there's much arms in this from Daniel.
Oh, he's
had a go.
He's got it around. He's got it around.
We'll give him that.
That's fine.
He's had a go, but that is a jeez.
The Lord has said you must attempt to grasp. So
he did have a go.
It's got to be a realistic attempt, not an Owen Farrell.
Hang on. Anyway, we'll go back to that.
Had to slip the English chip in there today, Dave. You know.
At game speed, it didn't look like that right arm made an attempt. But with the replay, we saw it. So we will pat the officials on the back. We generally have a chat with them after a game and at half time, and they are interested. And I think that's important to mention while we wait for this, while we wait for the injury and the penalty kick. Referees come in for a lot, and they've gone quick to stop me talking. And they will work out on that far side. Then the box kick behind will find its way to May. Sits up nicely for him, but there's another whistle and we're coming back again. Probably an offside. But just going back to that quickly. Referees probably watch more rugby to self-critique than anybody else.
Correct.
A lot of players will sit and watch and they'll look for those hits and they'll look for their runs and they'll look for their good kicks. Referees will sit and self-critique. Not many other people in the rugby community do that, and they are always trying to get better because they come in for a lot of criticism. Referees,
absolutely. I mean,
sometimes rightly so, but they learn from it.
Correct. And if you look at players can make 4, 5, 6, 10 mistakes in a game. And still come away thinking they had a good game. They had, 4 good runs, a couple good passes, and scored a try. You think you had a good game, even though you've made 8 mistakes. A referee makes 2 mistakes, and can come under fire fairly heavily from coaching staff, players, all that kind of stuff. So it's a tough position. They work very hard to nullify those mistakes. Anyway, we're back live.
Knee down, so he got no rights to it, and Tassie can come away again. Finding themselves under a little bit of pressure. A little chip through, sits up. Can they get people there quick enough? Can they hold him up? I think they've got him. Not sure whether maul's been called. Holman can just add his substantial weight to it, and maul was called. So it will be a scrum down to Tasmania as we approach halfway in this first half. There has been a change in midfield, and we see Tui Vasa, another Port Adelaide player, make his way onto the ground. Can be a try-scoring machine if he's given the space.
He is devastating with a bit of space. Those of you who watched him play on Friday wouldn't recognise him. He's said his hair braided.
He's got the cornrows in.
Not quite the shock of hair he was sporting on Friday.
So flat ball again, and Salter will carry towards halfway. Just onto the bootlaces. Did very well to deal with that. That was Altman. And the penalty.
Just unlucky there after that. Did really well to get down there and not lose that one.
And Victoria saw numbers, so off they went. Looking at the back of people, you know you're going to go quick, and then they will go into the midfield. Space again. A little bit high, but he sorted it out. Lie versus Daniel, that's a nice little battle. Flat ball again. Bounces around, nice hands off the ground. Can they get away? They do get it to Tuivasa. Tuivasa puts it on the top. Goes down a little bit easy fully. Vic are close, they've got the penalty anyway. Wide ball, should finish, does finish. Vic will even it up.
Nobody in front of him, quick ball to the outside. Too easy, over he goes, dots it down.
All right, Harry.
I'm quite sure what that advantage was for there. I think he's lost it forward.
No.
Oh, okay, it might have been for the high hit there.
Oh, so there was a second one. So he didn't buy the Tuivasa one?
No.
Good.
No, I don't think he was. I don't think he was interested in that at all.
No.
In fact, looks like he's just
that one there. Oh, geez.
Not like Tuivasa to lose his footing quite so easily, but I think he's slipped. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here.
That's a big benefit of the doubt. Certainly not something we want to see to come into rugby.
No.
You trust that the referees will give the penalties when they are there. The Tasmanian fullback had every right to run that line.
Absolutely, hold your line. You can't change your line, but you hold your line. There's nothing wrong with it. And in fact, there's, as of beginning of 2018, can be penalised for
simulation.
Simulation, or no, not simulation is the soccer term. It's for milking a penalty. I forget what the.
That doesn't sound like the official wording.
I forget what the official law wording is, but it's basically if you're out there shouting, trying to convince the referee that you should get a penalty, you can be penalised.
That looks good off the boot. Has it got the legs? No, Joe was so close.
Just held up.
There we go. There's Tuivasa with the old WWE stuff. I think that's Watts as well. May have copped an injury on his knee when he came across to make that tackle.
Yeah, looks like he's heading off there in the corner. Can't quite see who's come on from just yet.
It is back row, so we might see the injection of Sparkles. No, there's yep, see him in the middle now. Come probably earlier than he wanted to, Kendall.
So Kendall actually couldn't play Friday. His left eye was closed. He's got sporting a massive black eye on the left eye there at the moment. It's just open enough for him to see today. So.
Oh, there is Sparkles. Ben White has made his way into the fray. Flat ball came off the boundary fence and wanted it, and will rumble a long way after contact, but has lost it. And Victoria can kick away. I think there's been a number of changes rung. That's Benackers carrying it back. Again, it's scrappy and slow at the breakdown, but they do manage to get away. Halfback coming and cleaning out. Little kick through. Defender comes across, takes it nonchalantly one-handed, but the penalty had already been conceded. Just sealing off.
As you said, that's obviously what caused that breakdown on the far side to be a bit messy and a bit scrappy. As we said before, the referees are really trying to make it a clean game for us all to enjoy. Make sure it's positive out there.
So World Rugby, and we'll talk about on there how they've decided to go for posts now with 11 and a half minutes to go in the half. You are a World Rugby educator. And one of the things I like about rugby is it's constantly evolving its laws. So and it is the criminal versus the cop race. So as World Rugby Rugby set a law to try and free things up and speed things up, the players will try and find ways to skirt around those laws to slow it down.
Possibly the other way around, Dave. The laws not only try and build continuity. But obviously you've got to have the balance of competition in there as well. So the laws around the game are constantly trying to keep that balance between competition and continuity. Obviously players trying to bend it in their favour.
But it is something, I mean, this weekend we've definitely seen it, and the breakdown is, as the kick is on its way, looks good off the boot, flags go up, so they'll go 3 points in front. But I think that's May who's knocked over the penalty. We don't want to see messy breakdowns, and the breakdown has historically been a problem area for rugby union. By far the most number of penalties come from there.
Also, I think it's the most misunderstood and the most difficult area to police, because it happens so often, happens so quickly, and there are so many variables at the breakdown.
Nice offload off the floor to Brian. Out the back, looking for an exit play. Winger caught himself out of position, but now has footsteps to deal with. Does the first bit okay. And is scragged. Managed to keep his feet for long enough for his support to get there, and then they can go again. Borchardt rumbles through the middle. And again, they will look out to that right-hand side. And again, they go to the big fella over halfway. Pulled out the back. We'll find Glasby. Glasby is hit and driven back. It's the kind of dominant tackle that Tasmania want. Flat ball again, gets man and ball, and the man is Brian. But Victoria have done enough to keep hold of it.
That was, as you said, looking for those dominant hits, and wow, delivering today.
Again they go. Flat ball again. Does get the outside. Now he can put the foot down. Wants a beat. Goes inside. Does beat him. Beats another one. Tries to get the in out. Isolated now, so it's just got to be a foot race. Weirdest looking pass I've seen in a while, but they do get to keep going. Can the support get there? Comes away with it and gets over the line, and the try is scored for Victoria.
As you said, Dave, interesting pass out there. He was obviously watching the 36ers.
That's your hit. Jeez.
That is just...
That's textbook.
Fantastic, isn't it? Great to see a big hit. And there we go. There's that pass. Watching the 36ers last night, I reckon, on the... Is that Spacequake Sports coverage?
We broadcast it. It was on. It was on Facebook for the 36ers and the NBL, but it was our broadcast. Just not officially a named one.
Oh,
just trying to see how he got out of that. It's just popped up and he's managed to find a way through.
Well, stolen by Tasmania. It's just come loose.
Well, breakaways, the salad eaters have to go and do the work and clean out the ruck. Not known for that, really.
Not depended on for that that function.
Oh, well, he hit it, and it just. He's not in front of it, is he? No, he's okay. Would that be? Would that be hands in a ruck?
That looked like a ruck to me. I'm not sure if he did he rip it clean or did it just?
No, because he hit it and then went to pick it up, so he wasn't a halfback.
Looked like he'd. I don't think his mate will thank him for coming flying.
No, the flags go up, so they will go to 10 points. Sorry, 12 points with the kick. And they'll lead 12 points to 8 with around 7 minutes to go in the half. But that's an interesting one. It's a talking one. I think that's hands in a ruck.
Yeah, that's there's ruck formed there. But unless the balls doesn't look like the ball's come out, he's ripped it clean and he's gone.
But he's joined the ruck, hasn't he?
Yes.
So he's part of the ruck.
He's part of the ruck.
And then he puts his hands on it.
He's joined the ruck.
There
we
it is.
go.
So
Bang,
he's
part
in
of
the ruck.
He is. There's the ball being stolen. Oh, he's hit it with his knee.
And then it pops up and
and he's bloody pole.
Anyway.
Referee's right there, and you see at the end he throws his arms up and says ball was out. So I think it's hit his knee, popped out, and referee's just said it's come loose. So.
But again, you know, we talk about these things because it's fun to talk about. We had 3 looks at it.
Yeah, and we're still
not
what?
sure. So, you know, give the referee a break.
Absolutely. You know what? That you always say if you come in with a positive attitude and you bring the energy at any
Tui Vasa will look for the outside. Daniel sat down. Won't happen to him very often. And again, they can get the fullback. Looked a little bit over the shoulder and the arm comes out. And there it is. Off they go. Oh, and he's just found a gap. And off he can go. Just a foot race around the outside. Absolutely nothing wrong with that one. And Victoria Country in the shadows of half time will just push ahead again.
Yeah, just the gap there between the forwards and the backs looked like opened up there.
Did, and then once he decided to put the foot down, he was away, wasn't he?
Oh, he's got some toe, doesn't he?
May did everything he could, and the best that he could do is just make the kick a little bit harder.
There we go. It's your mate, the fake redhead. He's just shot up early and created a gap in there behind him.
That's an interesting one as well. That penalty is given for the over-the-shoulder tackle. So it's a high tackle, but it's probably one of the hardest skills in rugby. How do you tackle someone from behind and not go over the shoulder?
Well, it is tough. You've really got to work hard to get the arms around and grab and then bring them down rather than just go the old, they call it the lazy...
The seatbelt tackle.
Seatbelt tackle, yeah, where you just throw the arm over the shoulder and drag him down.
Well, we're big fans of the backpack tackle here at Space Quake Sports.
Yes, of course. Just jump on and go for a ride.
Yeah, it's just the shot, and there's a big. You see him come out, and then there's a big gaping hole behind him. He must have thought it was Christmas.
Eyes lit up, didn't they?
Well, and then could trust his pace.
Yeah, once he was through that gap, just one man to beat, wasn't it? And then he had the goods on him and I think he had the meters on him before he even started. So, got on him.
Well, Tasmania, through the 2 games that we've seen them play so far, generally come out of half-time a different side. I don't know what coaching magic there is that they have at half-time, but they seem to come out well after half-time. They held their own against a very, very impressive Perth Gold side after half-time for a period. I think I was talking to the manager this morning, and just they feel disappointed that they didn't do better against the under-23s, the South Australian under-23s, and I think just young legs ran over the top of them in the end. And second game, and certainly more of an experienced side, this Tasmanian side.
Very much so. They played a really good structured game. The S under-23s knew that they would have the young legs and some serious pace out wide. And once they got the opportunity to shift it edge to edge, they took advantage. Yeah, Tassie, I know they were disappointed about that. Lost their second half was not what they wanted.
Daniel out the back takes on Tui Vasa, gets away from Tui Vasa. That's turning into a nice little battle between the two of them. Holman again will run back inside and just look for an edge. Didn't quite get one. Tassie again will come this near side. Now there is a gap. Takes on Nell, gets away. Good challenge from behind. That's probably how you do it. Slow, little show and go. But again, Victoria have managed to get the numbers there. Holtman. Sorry, that's Ataleo. Will look for a little bit of a gap. Just short, I think. Ball will come back. Daniel, short line again. This time he gets shut down. Ball pops out illegally. So there was a high shot somewhere.
I think that was on Daniel by Leo as he came in there.
Lie.
That's Damo, wasn't it?
I think it was, Damon.
Damo Leo, yeah. I think he's just caught him high as he's come across there.
They decide to just go with
Sam O'Keefe
some
in
power
on the
with
middle of the big
O'Keefe.
carry.
Ataleo stands, shows and goes, and Ataleo will score. Wonderful character. We saw him last year as well. Absolutely love watching him run around at halfback.
He is fantastic. He's got so much colour to everything he does. He brings there's a vibrance around the man. Look at him.
The old point.
Talking,
It's going
standing
wide. It's
around
going
there. There it
wide.
is.
No, it's not. There he goes. Oh, wonderful try from Ataleo.
Fantastic. Great halfback boots too.
Well, you got to get yourself seen, haven't you?
Oh, isn't it brilliant? You know I'm a big fan of boots too, Dave. So that
He just got Leo to step, and just as Leo shifted his weight, that's when he knew he had him. So May will look to take the kick, make it 4 points the difference.
and that should be half time.
Oh, in the blink of an eye, I didn't even see it coming. Again, he seems to have that kicking style, but he didn't quite get there, so that will be half time. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with you for half number 2. So welcome back to half number 2. Big Mr. Holman on your screen at the moment, the number 5 for Tasmania. Character in the Tasmanian dressing room. Certainly one of the natural leaders of the side.
Is it 30-minute halves?
Yes. It's a tournament, mate.
It is 30-minute halves. Thank you very much for our ball kids getting us involved in asking the questions. 30-minute halves, no stoppages at all today. So we get ready to go for half number 2. Restart deeper, and it will. That's the first time I've ever given someone a commentator's curse before the half starts. Holman couldn't quite gather it in. And again, they work with the big number 1. Then they will go out to midfield. Tui Vasa trying to find a way on the outside. Can't quite get there. They are up to the 22 though. Back on the angle, and Victoria make their way inside the 22. Lie looks for a gap, can't find a gap. Russell just drops that one cold. Tassie with an advantage, so they can go from here if they want to. No advantage.
Knock on. Knock on here, but tackle. Oh, well, there was no advantage. He was tackled over the ball. Got a guy on anyway.
So Tassie will have the scrum. Just running repairs. Can't quite see who it is or who's down at the moment.
You good? Ankle, knee.
So coming up today, after this one, South Australia will take on Queensland Country. There's a big old ask for the Black Falcons. Queensland Country looked very good yesterday. Went down, I think, by a point against a New South Wales countryside, which is looked good in every game they've played. And then the marquee game today, you would say, would be New South Wales Country taking on Perth Gold. Perth Gold have looked very, very good in this competition.
Staying on, going off. Got it.
6 points the difference at the moment.
Keep our shoulders down, Blue, please. Stay in the contest. Keep shoulders down and go straight.
Driving straight in the scrum, as you hear the referee talk about it, is a massive point of contention. Over the last couple of years with scrummaging, just trying to protect front rows and heads and necks. Victoria again, come near side. Tui Vasa through the legs. Knock on advantage. No advantage.
Stop talking, please stop. Double knock on. Yeah, guys back on.
So we're finally able to get the
Number 3.
the communication from the referee.
Green 3 replace. Green 3. Oh, 17. 7 blue. 7 blue replace. Substitute.
So that's Russell who's going to go and have a sit down, but
We've got 8.
will be a scrum to Tasmania once all the replacements have been made.
23 from blue. We're done. Right, time back on. First knock on by blue, then by green. Green scrum.
Tasmania not out of it, plenty of time. Victoria looked like they were starting to take control of it, but Tasmania, a try will get them back in it. Converted try will put them in front. Stolen in the tackle, but coming back for an advantage. Lucid driving in on the angle. So he did say keep it straight, and they will go for a penalty. Of course, today we are live on Facebook, so if you want to say hello to anyone, pop it in the comments. We'll do what we can. Any questions for about what's going on today, where we are?
Let's go!
Make sure you can just share it, host a watch party. So Tazzy with the lineup. Missed everybody. Goes over the back, and Victoria again will get ball in hand. Short side. Managed to shake away from the first tackle. Ball's going to bounce its way into midfield again. Tassie making tackles behind the gain line. Ball on boot almost worked very, very well for Victoria, but we are coming back again. High contact again.
Just a high contact.
So another South Australia injection with Troy Wilkins over on that far side.
Hold. Behind the ball.
Victoria will kick the touch. And we'll line up just over halfway. Victoria going to a four-man lineup. Off the top again. Flat ball. Another whistle, and it's just starting to get a little bit scrappy at the breakdown, and number of scrums from little knock-ons.
Bind. Sit.
So Tasmania with a central scrum, 8-9-15 is on if they can go. They just decided to go with the 9. And a flat ball out to Wilkins. Tried the little stutter step. White has to work at halfback. Wilkins steps in, flat ball. Lean. Went out the back and found LaGrange. Holman. Found Daniel, managed to break the first couple of tackles and then gets away. Goes to ground to get his support there.
Advantage green, one blue offside.
And that's where they get the offside, because they were behind the gain line and they started to have to just make the Victorian side scramble. And a penalty in front, and they decide to go. Out to Daniel. Gets an arm free, can't get the hand it away. Finally does to Lagrange, inside the 22 now.
Push.
And off they go again. Short ball to Lean, he couldn't quite bring it in.
Tackle.
So the little knock on will be a Victorian country scrum.
I've got my green first.
So we are kind of in the time that Victoria probably will just try and get away from here. They may run from here. They're inside their own 22, so the exit play is a possibility.
Bind. Sit.
Big scrum from Victoria, and they can go with Lie. Tackled by White, but a penalty.
Ground. Stay up. Go on the ground on knee.
Scrum going to ground, so they'll get the penalty, and they will get the exit play, and they'll benefit from the line out as well.
Stay in the contest. Front row.
Not a huge amount of distance on the kick, but
1 and 13 blue, substitution.
they will get the line out.
Yeah.
Victoria have gone to a shortened line out just to make sure that they're getting ball.
Time back on.
Scrappy at the front, but they've managed to sort it out. And again, Victoria will get going. Another big contact Lean this time. And Tuivasa with a little show. Can't quite get away from White. Look to offload out the back, and the turnover has gone again the way of Tasmania. Flat ball to Brian. Out the back on the bounce, sits up for Lean. Long way behind the gain line.
Ready to over.
Holman. Salter trying to find a gap. It was turned over, but illegally not rolling away.
Roll. Let go.
So it's a penalty. It's Tasmania might look to a corner, and they've decided to go for a shot, just to try and bring them back in. Only 6 points away, but bring them to a 3-point difference. Changing kicker, Clack will take the shot at goal.
Too old, man. Too old. This is the last game though, so that's all you got. Last game, you can just keep going.
Lovely conversation between Anthony Lean and our referee today. Asking how he's going. The body too old, he said. So Clack into the wind.
Oh, they're going for points, Harry. Oh, so I need that. Oh, no, I don't.
There's a mic right there.
Kick is on the way. Just pulled it. And they'll take the 22.
Yep, numbers. 2 and 19 green, substitution.
Changes being made again for Tasmania. rolling substitutions this week.
Righto, time back on.
Kick is driven into midfield, sits up nicely for Clack. And he will give it to May. May dropped it inside to Daniel, who just couldn't bring it in. So scrum advantage for Victoria.
Advantage over from the knock-on.
Shouts of keep going. They're just going to try and keep them moving forward. Slowed down a little bit now.
Green, leave it. Green.
He's not letting go. He was told a couple of times. He felt that he had a right to it, but no. And Victoria again will go quickly. This time Tassie have managed to sort themselves out.
23 here, please, skipper.
So that's Ben White. Did look like the shoulder got in or around the head.
Well, I spoke to the other guy when you were off. We had a couple of head-eye. They're only high contact. We can't keep having them. It's above it. It's still the point of contact. Point of contact's above the shoulder. It's a high tackle.
So yellow card for Ben White. Said that the point of contact which was above the shoulder, which is perfectly fair.
Head-eye, scrum option.
And they've taken the scrum from the penalty.
Yep.
So a lot of field for the Victorians to work with.
Bind. Sit.
Tassie choosing to stay one man down in the scrum, keep a folded back line. Taking on that far side channel again. Then we'll slip on the other side. Again, they will look on that far side. Tuivasa showed it, then sends it out to the fullback. Now they've got space on this near side. Green and yellow jersey streaming across to cover it off. Victoria just decided to go route one. Put the head down and go. Lie just short of the line. And a penalty.
24. Ceiling.
Just sealing it off as we welcome back into the commentary position, Jason Hyam.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah, he's just gone off his feet there, trying to, obviously the Tasmanian player got his feet really quickly, hands on the ball, and he's just trying to secure that. Gone the easy route of just going straight between the man and the ball.
There's a line.
But got to stay on your feet, got to keep that positive body position.
Lines are marked, guys.
So we got clarification as well. I had a chat with the referee coaches who were just set to our left for the entire weekend. Got clarification on the try. As long as his feet were behind the ball when he entered the ruck for the try, the fullback, as long as his feet were behind the ball, he can have a go at it. As long as he picks it up and clears it.
Oh, so as if he's playing halfback at that ruck.
Yeah.
All right.
Lean. Brings it down and then they will go quickly. Short ball. Holman sends it back inside to Kendall. Holman again inside, this time to his second row compatriot in Lean. Little sniping run from Clack.
Turn blue, leave it.
Daniel. Flat ball to Lagrange, and he couldn't quite bring it in. So second yellow card of the day for Tasmania as well. Ben White sitting down for a high shot. First one, I think, was for repeat infringements. I think we talked about that at half-time as well.
Correct, earlier on. Yeah, the not making life easy for themselves. Tasmania. Interesting, they're looking for that tip-on ball just about every single time. They were using a lot of one-off runners the other day, and this time really using that two-pass off every breakdown. It's nice to see that variation in their game through the weekend. Coach is obviously working very hard.
So Victoria will take control of the scrum. Flat ball into midfield with the short ball. Can't get away. Did go over the shoulder, but again, they get away and the pop out for another one. That's another high shot.
And that's in a...
Tuivasa will go, looks for the corner. Can't quite get there. Just short of the line again. Little show and go, doesn't quite get them in there. Ball's out, all's fair, but so's the no penalty on that one. Holding on.
Yeah, Dave, as you said there, that high tackle very much in the red zone. That's 6 or 7 meters out.
I don't think he saw it.
He's called it, given the penalty though, and Vic had that penalty with a quick tap to
Well, that's true, yeah. I mean, the whole quick tap, getting rid of the yellow card thing.
Yeah, I think he may have done Tasmania a favour there by going the quick tap, because that, yeah, there weren't too many people between the guy who made the high tackle and the try line there.
It's an interesting one because can a referee go back after that phase of play and still issue that yellow card? I think he said, I've just heard him say penalty only, so I think he was happy that it was a penalty only. But
right.
I mean, if you know,
if you were going yellow card, you'd call them back. You wouldn't let them take it.
You wouldn't let them take it. Yeah. I think it's interesting as well is that, you know, the number of penalties for high shots is starting to go up today, but we've talked about it. This is their third game in 4 days, so
the hamstrings maybe not what they were on Thursday. Guys are struggling to get down.
Tackles generally will creep up as players get tired. Good counter ruck from Victoria.
Here, please.
Another whistle. He wants to speak to somebody. It's Daniel.
Tom. Right. Yeah. Reese.
I don't think it was Daniel who sat down in the first half, was it?
Don't think so. It was.
We just had one there for high contact. We had another one. I'm not going to keep putting out. He's going to the bin. It was high tackle.
So Daniel will go to the bin. I don't think Ben White's back yet, so that's 2 players down for Tasmania, 2 for high shots. It's
Off we go.
yeah, it's an interesting. Well,
Tell you what, White's done well to get a high tackle. Did he take a step ladder out there today or something, mate?
the guy did go low, and it was one of those unfortunate ones where as the guy went down, Benny White wasn't in a bad position. He just, you know, first contact was high.
Oh, right.
It was really, really low. I mean, it was a good low contact, and unfortunately for Ben White, he was just a little bit higher than the other guy's low. So,
Who's your vice captain, please?
did wear one,
Yes.
and again, it's fair. I didn't quite see that one, but you know.
I can. We're going through you, okay?
So I don't know whether they're going to scrum they're going with because the 2 forwards down.
That's it. So it'll be 8 on 6 with the scrum.
Yeah, and then Tasmania need to make a decision as to whether they put some backs into the scrum to try and shore it up. And if they don't, they're having the conversation, because if they don't, then they leave a 2-man overlap in the backs, or at least a 1-man overlap in the backs. Just trying to work it out. They've gone.
Yeah, they've gone an extra man in the pack, so they're 1 down in the pack, 1 down in the backs.
Yeah, so there is an overlap, and the scrum is under pressure.
So the worst of both worlds.
Oh, and how about that from Tasmania? Reward dominance The full arm bind not there. Wanted to go quick. I tell you what, congratulations, Tasmania. That's how you scrummage with your back to the wall, isn't it?
Absolutely, digging deep, really making it count.
Oh, yeah, you take a scrum against our 8 men. Or 7 men. We'll have that.
You'd have to say, Vic, we're not expecting that one to come out of that scrum.
Tasmania slightly stung into action here. Russell will find a way through. Fend works on the first one, not necessarily on the second one. Long looping pass again, just didn't go to hand. It's going to be a scrum only, but here they come. 2 on 1. Doesn't need him. He'll go over. Just ran out of numbers, Victoria. Tasmania, sorry.
Yeah, that's that extra man, or extra 2 men out wide there, isn't it, Dave? It's just unfortunate that they don't have the numbers to be able to cover that 70 metres. And Vic taking full advantage of the lack of numbers, going right to the edge there as he almost steps out as he puts that one down. But
he put that one down, and then good hands, and then here. Would have liked to have seen just the draw and the give, but you know, he did finish it, so he gets away with it. Sparkle's mum is watching. She's saying leave her kid's height alone.
You made that up, Dave.
No, they didn't. Look, there you go. There she is.
Thanks
for joining us, Denise.
Absolutely, Denise. Not to worry. Ben's a good boy. He's not gonna.
Dig up, Jason. Dig up.
I don't think he'll take offence.
So Tuivasa will take over some kicking duties. A very interesting style, Tuivasa. Almost like Jonathan Thurston sends it out, brings it around. Brought it around too much on that one. So 24 points to 13, it will stay. 4 minutes to go. You will think that that's probably about it. It'd be a big ask in what, 3.5 minutes for Tassie to come back with
I'll tell you what,
a couple of scores.
Talking about Sparkles, there's Ben White back on the pitch. He's got some fresh legs now after having a sit down, so
it'd be a big ask.
It would be good to see them score a quick one and have the last couple of minutes of really exciting throw everything at it rugby.
High hanging restart again. Holman can contest and does. We'll find Kendall. Holman again into midfield. Here is White. Get it out to the near side to Sharp, but penalty in front again.
As you said, Dave, that second yellow card really has sparked something in this Tasmanian side. They are, obviously after the try, frantic to get some points, but there's a lot of energy out there now.
Watts will straighten, get the offload to Brian. Little knock on though. Victoria can counter-attack. Happy to just kick away. Wilkins comes near side to Sharp. Sharp decides he just wants the outside and gets it. Can't get away from Tuivasa. Does well to get the offload inside to Salter. Ball goes into touch though.
Be outside the field.
Ben White been thrown under the bus by his own mother.
Need a hooker green. Open up a bit, blue 24. Yeah.
Oh, that is nasty. I did have to have a go at him because I think he cut me in half 3 or 4 times this year when I played against him. So got to get my own back somehow.
Lear at the front, Port Adelaide connection, and then it just goes to ground. So another knock on and another scrum. So they are back to parity in the scrum, I think. I think there's still a back down. Or are they back to...
Doesn't look like there's nobody on a naughty chair, so they're all...
Yeah, it looks like they're all back there. Are they
They're
all
all
back there? No, they're not all back yet. There's still a back down.
Oh, I think what they've done is taken him off the naughty chair and allowed him back to the bench because
He's done.
He's done for the day
Yeah,
anyway.
so 30 seconds. Can Tasmania get a consolation try? I think they'd like to get 13 sharp, one-on-one with this near side winger if they could. Another penalty. Out to Wilkins,
like they're
and
gonna
there
do
they
it
get
too.
it. Wilkins steps inside, another. Wilkins will get there. They do get their consolation try. Troy Wilkins. Just the threat. Well, they're going to go quick. The time's gone unless the referee's got more. So 6 points anyway. It would have been a bridge too far, and that will be that. They're asking the question. His watch is done, but there you see Wilkins step inside a couple and finish. He can finish, that young man.
He does have good footwork, and when he puts the hammer down, he is very difficult to catch. Very elusive runner, isn't he?
And had the threat of the big fella sharp outside him. So that will be that. Tasmania will finish 6th. Vic Country will finish 5th. We will take a break. We'll be back with you for South Australia, who will take on Queensland Country. A big, big ask for the Black Falcons. Can they step up?